All right, so perfect. I'm gonna kill that guy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ethan, and we race 602 crate late models, and this is the Fast Farm. At least that's the normal intro that I do for the other videos, and then I get to point at the race car, and then I get to point at the garage and say, this is the Fast Farm. But this is a little bit different because we're kind of pivoting to some other stuff. There's no need to make a race vlog this week just because the car is still getting the transmission worked on. But for those of you that are here for the race vlogs and don't really particularly care about this kind of content, have no fear, we're still going to be doing race vlogs. We plan to be at Clarksville Speedway this weekend and hopefully next weekend. After that, it kind of gets blurry just because we're going to be getting really close to my baby being born. And that will probably go ahead and end the season. We may still try to make the $5,000 race at Clarksville at the end of the year. I don't know. We just don't know how all that's going to turn out. So who knows? But as for the rest of you, today's video is about the things that I do not like about the World of Outlaws dirt racing game. Now, before we get carried away here, I want to tell you a couple things that are true. I have played this game a ton since the last video that I posted. So I've been able to get a feel for a lot of tracks and a lot of different things that just bother me about this game. I also want to tell you that you need to know up front that this is by far the best console dirt racing game I have ever played. I absolutely love this game, and I'm going to continue to play the game whether these few silly things get fixed or not. Some of them I think can be fixed, and some of them I'm not so sure. We are about to get into those things right now, but before we get into those, I wanted to remind you to please subscribe to our channel. Well, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Any kind of comment you want. I really don't care at this point. So, the first thing we need to do is pick a track to go to, and Port Royal is one that I'd like to talk about some. Port Royal has by far been my biggest struggle on this game. Is just, I've tried a million different setups, a million different things. So we're gonna go to practice, and the first thing I want to talk about with the game, and this is kind of confusing, and I wonder if it is part of some of the handling issues that I also see in the game. So in a normal race car, they are designed to go left. The front end geometry, the stagger, the bar angles, the J-bar, everything on that car is put into the car so that it is going to go left. Now late models, you'll see them, they'll roll on the right side, but it's so that they can go left. I would also like to take this time out to tell you that all these problems, are the ones I've noticed, are on late models. I haven't played anything else really. I played street stock some, but for the most part I'm just talking about late models. So some of these problems may not be in sprint cars or whatever. Anyways, race cars are designed to go left. It is just the way that they are. We always do a road test before we take our car to the racetrack. And essentially in the road test I'm just taking up the road. But the car wants to go left the entire time that we're heading down the street. So if you ever see me do a road test, I'm holding the wheel at like here because the car is constantly wanting to pull left. Now if I mash on the gas, it's the same thing except for harder. The car gets up on the bars and it's wanting to go left. But let me show you what happens when you push the throttle on these cars. This is just a real easy throttle. What happens? The car kicks right. Really right. I don't understand why it does that. And I think it causes some other problems throughout the game. Now obviously once you get going, you're up to speed and everything like that. Of course we're just going to hit the wall right out of the gate here. But once you get up to speed and get going, my steering wheel is not, there we go, now it's starting to act like it exists. But anyways, once you get up to speed, you never notice it again. Well, that's not completely true. It feels like the entire time that you're driving that the car, it would be easier for the car to turn right than it would be to turn left. I hate this place, by the way. I don't fully understand why that is or what the deal is with the affinity for this car to turn right. In fact, there was something that I wanted to do. This is like NASCAR 98 style stuff right here. But I just wanted to see if going in reverse, what that was like. I just wonder if it handles better going in reverse, because the car is gonna act wonky. Now that makes sense, the way it turns right and we're heading into the right turn. Why does that feel so much better? It would take some getting used to, and obviously we got to change some stuff on the car, but I can tell you just by looking at it visually that it just makes so much more sense for it to be that way. I don't fully understand what's going on there. I don't get it, but we're moving on because we're really close right here to the other thing that I hate about this place. And this has to be, if you guys race at Port Royal, let me know, and let me know if this is a real thing. But why is it that that wall sticks out away from the other wall? We've got the car going left there, and if we wouldn't have, it would have hit the wall. I couldn't tell you. Let me try to see if we can get it going around this track here. Anytime you come up high right there, you're hitting that. The other night I ran a race in my season mode and we were all pretty much high. So, but anytime you would go high, you would end up hitting that spot on the track. By the way, look at that cone stuck right there in the butt of my race car. That's kind of cool, right? That wall sticks out. That's a problem. A lot of people have noticed it. A lot of people are talking about it on Reddit and on Facebook. I just think that needs to be fixed. Surely to God, Port Royal doesn't have walls just dangling out into the middle of the track. Okay, for our next track, we are going to go to Kokomo. First off, I want to tell you that it's awesome that Kokomo's in the game. When I think of Kokomo, I typically think of wingless sprints, USAC guys. But it's very exciting that Kokomo's in the game. It is definitely a World of Outlaws track. But when I think of it, I just think of USACs, USAC sprint cars. And that's what how cool would it be if USACs ever made it in this game? Like, why can't we collaborate? USACs, World of Outlaws, Lucas Oil, all those guys come together and make, just one big game. Or, someone that has the power to do that, Flow Racing. It'd be pretty cool if they would come make their own game, and then they have this huge umbrella of people that they could put into a game. So at Kokomo, we are going to go straight into an actual race, and we are going to pick out a tire. So first I want to show you, a lot of people online are talking about this tire right there. So that tire, no, is it that tire? Hang on. These guys on the track are like, what is this guy doing? This tire right there. A lot of people have a problem with that tire and saying it's too far up the track. I actually like where it's at because it's realistic, because there's a lot of tracks that have a tractor tire like that and it's just in the way. And it's pretty, man, I gotta fix my steering wheel. But it's in the way and it causes problems, and I really, really like that. I also like that the tractor tires move. I think that's very cool, but let me show you the thing I don't like about the tractor tires. Let's pick that one right there, and let's give it a shove into the racetrack. Can we? Oh, come on. Okay, we got us into a longer race. We're gonna go with the A main here. Let me go down. I gotta let everybody pass by first and me not cause a caution. So hopefully everybody's through now, and they are. Okay, so now let's cause havoc. Let me find a good tire. I like that one a whole lot, and we're going to give it all we got here. So we're gonna shove, 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 and that's a good spot for that tire right there. And we'll just wait. So boom, we got people piling up. We got a caution. So in your mind, you're thinking the track crew is gonna come out on the racetrack and they're going to move that tire. It's in the racetrack, it's a hazard. That's not good for business. Joke's on you, there's the tire right there. Did you see it? They're gonna leave it there the entire time too, so that you can just run over it and hit it, and it's gonna cause people to have cautions and wrecks, and probably me right here, because I'm pretty high trying to find the tire. Look at them. Boom. Put the tire up. Move the tire. Reset the tire if it comes onto the track. That's all I'm asking. Okay, so the next place we are at is Cedar Lake Speedway, and I want to show you a couple of things here that bother me. It's not necessarily all of them about the track. So the track is a good track, but see these tires down here on the bottom? In the real world, I have seen guys that'll come through and they're hiked up and they'll just sit there and graze those tires, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a work of art. I've also seen guys get a little cocky with it, and they'll knock out an upper control arm, lower control arm, bend up a a ball joint, whatever. But what I have never seen in my life is somebody hit them and it acts like a concrete wall. Right there, that one immediately just killed the car. Let me see if I can find another one to do it. So hopping over them, I'm good with that. What I'm not good with is it acting as if it's a concrete wall. Where's that? So, and it's kind of sporadic when it happens too. It's not all the time. Of course, there was an imaginary concrete wall there. So that was one right there. It just absolutely killed the car. I think it's a little bit silly that happens. Another thing that I think is silly is, all right, well, let's go to the infield. Or we just got spun to the infield. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because there's this imaginary force field around the infield. Because it's 2022, and we have to have that for some reason. There is so much more. It'd be so, just let me go to the infield if I want to. I know they do that to keep you from cutting the track and essentially cheating per se. Well, the best way to curb that is to, if someone goes and say they go, let me get the car backed up here. Say they get below the dirt line right there and they start getting, they're in the grass, right? Slow, right there, right where the wall is, the imaginary wall. Slow the car down, bog it down to where going through the infield is not an advantage to the race. That's a good way to fix that without doing something silly like an imaginary wall. Because I can't remember what game it was, one of those dirt racing games, like you used to be able to just drive during practice and go look at the infield or park your car at Victory Lane. See Victory Lane right there? How cool would it be for you to be able to drive up and do like a screenshot of your car on the podium? You can't do that here because they don't trust us enough to drive through the infield in this game. Another complaint of mine is this, and I don't know if I'm going to be talented enough to show you, but essentially running the high side is faster in some tracks. The high line definitely has its advantage if you're running it right. The problem with this game is sometimes whenever you're running the high side, you're going to get a little bit wild, right? You're going to go in this thing, maybe jump the cushion a little bit too much, and you're going to pop that right rear fender and spoiler into the wall itself. Of course, right now I can't do it because I'm trying not to kill the wall, but I'm actually trying to like show you guys. So there's a small tap right there, and there's that concrete tractor tire. I wish they would give you more forgiveness on the right rear, because you do have that forgiveness in a race car. Remember in the other video I mentioned you have four pieces of spring steel there that hold that fender out. And a lot of times you'll see guys at the end of the night, it may be crinkled or the spoiler may be falling off, but they're not like made of stone back there in the back of the race car. It's made to compress, it's made to allow you to be able to bounce it off the wall and not have the consequence of getting caught in the wall and then smacking the wall with the front of the vehicle. I think that is a little bit silly. I think that could be an easy fix too. Just turn down like some of the wall, whatever, I don't know exactly, but just just push a few buttons and make it to where the wall doesn't necessarily suck your car in and kill you. Okay, for the next thing, I do have to hop in a heat race here. So we're in the back of Heat 4 at Cedar Lake, and it won't take me long to show you what I'm looking for here. But I think this is something that everyone has mutually agreed is trash. Oh my goodness, let me get through these turns real quick. All right, so perfect. I'm gonna kill that guy. So right there, I should be out of the race, and Daryl Lanigan should be out of the race, And there's a good chance Chris Simpson should be out of the race as well. I'm not saying that it has to be that way, but I'm saying give us a setting where if our car gets mashed, we're done. We're out of the race. Or sprint cars, make it to where if they flip, the wings come off and they're done. Their night is over. I think it's 2022 and that should be a thing, right? I think that this has also been complained about before in other videos, or not other videos, but other games like the Tony Stewart game and the SRX game, and I don't think anything's ever been done about it or ever will be done about it. But give us, look, I don't even care if the car has a dent on it. Just, I mentally know I just killed the wall. My car is done. I'm done. I'm out of the race. I think that's something very simple that can be done and would go a long way with the game. All right, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is setups. I wish that they would, so there is a guide for your setups if you go online. I think I linked it in my last video. So if you go to that video and watch it and check in the description, there's a guide for you to set up your car in that video. I have noticed that it doesn't take a whole lot of changes to make a car go, and that's good news. Of course, I don't know if I've done anything to this track or not as far as setups go. I think I've only ran it once and I haven't messed with my customs any. So this should be the default settings for this track. And like from a late model brain and a racing brain, this is crazy stuff. So 3.5 shocks all the way around the car is never going to work. You might see twin 250 springs on the back every now and again, but very rarely am I going to slap a 360 on the left front, and I'm certainly never going to run my tire pressures that way. I will never have my left rear be the second highest tire pressure on the car. I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to be snobbish about that, like, oh, I know a few things that you don't know, but I'm saying I want you to know things that I know. So make the car setups kind of close to what setting up a real car would be like, so that people can learn and see things and understand that, you know, you want that left rear shock to shoot up and be hard to compress back down, and you want your right front to tie down. A tie down shock keeps you on that right front on the nose of the race car. Those are just little things like that I think would be cool for people to learn, and then what better way than to learn by playing a game and picking up those little nuances. I think it's crazy. I also hear that iRacing is similar, like the setups on iRacing really don't make sense as far as the handling of a real race car. I'm not asking for spring smasher numbers and your 3, 4, 5s and your loads and all that stuff. I'm not asking to get super crazy here. I'm just asking to kind of get close to like the normal stuff so that people can actually learn what to do. Some of the changes in that guide do make sense, and some of them don't make sense. So I think they missed an opportunity here. Also, this is getting kind of picky, but give me my 4-link adjustments on this car for late models. I know you can set wing height in sprint cars. Well, give me my 4-link rods here in this game. I think that would be awesome to have, because it's a 4-link, like that's what most late models are, 4-link cars. So except for the old, CJ Rayburn swing arm cars, which please don't put any of that in the game because I don't understand none of that. But give me my 4-link rods. That's all I ask. I think that's it. I think that pretty well sums it up. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just call the video there. If you guys have anything that you want to add, or if you're like got something to say about the things that I said, well, I'm an open door policy here. I want to hear what you guys think of those things. I know I've seen a lot of similar complaints. I've got to set this car up on this track before I do anything else. But I've seen a lot of similar complaints online about the things that I'm talking about, but I decided to make a video, so maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody watches this who matters and can make those changes for us to get closer. That being said, I do want to reiterate that this game is pretty freaking awesome. And the fact that it is this close inspires me to say those things, because I did play the Tony Stewart game and it was so far off from anything remotely close that why even bother, right? But this game is different. It is close enough to where okay, good. We did good here. Now let me come on in. Y'all come in and let's work on these few things here. Get a dirt track racer in there. Get a late model driver, sprint car driver, street stock driver. Get those guys in there and let them talk to you about the changes that you can make to make the game better. I understand that it's a low budget game. I understand that it's a niche market. I understand that it's a console game. I get all that stuff, but I think that all those things being said, you can do those things and still maintain a low budget and meet the thresholds of whatever it is that makes a console game have to be so dumbed down as compared to a PC game. I don't know what any of that stuff is because I don't know. I'm not a nerd. But anyways, that's it for this video. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it so much, and it goes so far to help us. The late model vlog stuff will be back hopefully this weekend. Transmission, cross your fingers, is done, and then I think I can get a drive shaft fairly quickly. But that's it. I love each and every single one of you, but now I gotta... One last thing that I meant to add right there, so keep an eye on our channel and be sure to subscribe, because we are going to be doing what I'm calling the Ballad of Roscoe White. It is a fictional character that we're going to follow the life of through the game. He is going to start his career mode in street stock and try to make his way all the way to late models. Roscoe has a unique story. He is from Boone County, West Virginia. His sister Betsy had a trailer fire and it burned up, and Roscoe started a GoFundMe page for her, basically just so that he could buy a race car, and it worked. Roscoe collected all the money and then essentially just went and bought a race car, and now Roscoe's trying to make it all the way to the top. Just him and his crew chief slash wife slash cousin Martha Jane. It's an inspirational story. It's going to be awesome to play out. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be team no resets. Whatever happens on the track happens. And we're going to try to get Roscoe into a dirt late model and into stardom. It's going to be exciting. As always, I love each and every single one of you, but now I gotta go.